Cancer, this could be a big one because there's a major challenge this week. This week, the moon travels between Scorpio, this is where we're starting, moon in Scorpio is moon at detriment, and then it comes all the way back around to moon in Gemini. So we're traveling from Scorpio to Gemini. Okay, the biggest points of contention in that travel, we're going to get into it. Cancer, this is your weekly tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries Tarot. It is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. Cancerians, I always create an extended reading, and it is part of this reading. It's not secondary. It's definitely an extension of this reading. So I hope that you guys will join me for that. Those links I will put at the top of the description box right below, and I will also pin it to the top of the comment section for you guys, so it's easier for you to find. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so that you know when I upload your favorite content. Cancerian content comes out every single Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And if you want to join me, I have a second YouTube channel called Astrology Motivation. I'll attach the link above so that you guys can join me for a daily live chat, where it's a general tarot card reading live chat. Yeah, I love it. It's fun, and I hope you guys can join. Please remember that there's always the option of joining the Unbound membership or one of the channel memberships to this channel. But the Unbound will get you unlimited access to all of the extended readings and all of the exclusive content that I don't post anywhere else, not on any of my profiles. So yeah, think about that. Let's get into this. So the astrology is, it's actually very beautiful. It's very beautiful if we can get out of our own head and stop believing our own bullshit. There is a tendency to go too deep, maybe to get into other people's business, when all you really should be doing is like, oh, I have to understand, I have to know. Or even the arrogance of, I deserve to know. When in reality, no, you fucking don't. You don't got to know anybody else's business. And the problem for major empaths, which is exactly what Cancerians are, especially if you have multiple Cancer placements or multiple, like you're a Cancerian and then you also have like multiple water placements, you are the empath of all empaths. But it don't mean people want you to know. So sometimes you just got to dial it back and say, I don't have to know. I don't have to even understand. I have to be compassionate and empathize, which means honoring the humanity in another person. And if you can get in sync with doing that this week, it will be a particularly beautiful week. But if you duel out with this, first of all, expectations are going to be very difficult, almost like this sense of I deserve, but it's based on fantasy. It's not necessarily based on reality or what you have, how hard you've really worked or what you've actually done. It's just based on, I've dreamed this so long, why isn't it here? Have you aligned your work with the sun in Virgo now? This is a great time to assess. And with Mercury retrograde coming up, and we will be feeling the effects of that already because it's coming up soon. It's a great time, you guys, for us to assess, have we really done the work? Have we really? You know, and maybe you have, and congratulations. But I feel like in those areas where you have, you will prosper. You know, in the areas that are somehow grinding and slow, it's like sometimes listen, running in place and treading water is hard work. It will exhaust you, just like rocking in a rocking chair, but it doesn't get you anywhere. So maybe the thing isn't about doing the hard work and expecting something to come out of it. It's doing the right work. It's doing the smart work. What really needs to be done. And that's the positive place that you guys can use your empathy and compassion. Instead of digging in and trying to get into the business of other people, spread it outward and say, all right, well, how is somebody else doing it? Or, you know, maybe I need to be more sensitive to what's actually needed instead of what I have decided I'm good at. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but like, what is the correct application? Virgo season is all about working smart, not working hard. And you may have been working yourself into the ground, working hard, but is it effective? This is a great time to like go into the analytics and assess how effective are these efforts. Really, really good time to do that. So what do we have in front of me? Be generous of spirit. This has to do with arrogance. This has to do with cockiness. This has to do with an unhealthy sense of self, which is a sense of self that's actually fear-driven and disconnected. And then we have bring a gentle touch. Oh my God. Dear Spirit is also about love. And first of all, this is Virgo energy. But it's in the past. So what is this telling me? This is about either somebody who pretended to love, was, oh, I'm just so good to people, I'm so kind to people, but they were doing it for themselves. They weren't kind for the point of being kind. They were kind for the point of getting credit for it. So this is actually maybe starting to see the truth about either yourself, which is sometimes very hard to face, or the truth about a situation. Whereas the kindness, the generosity, the gentleness was really driven by a very egotistical and perhaps narcissistic energy that said, look at my kindness. Let me be known for my kindness. I need attention for my kindness. Like you were only like somebody was only being kind as a desperate attempt to get any attention at all. Because with this Leo in reverse, not general Leo energy, but in reverse energy, it's definitely saying this kindness wasn't actually kindness. It was somebody baiting. It was a bait. It was bring the spotlight to me. I don't know who the fuck that is. I don't know if it's you. Could be you. But this is definitely an energy in the past. So it could be Leo season that this started to happen. Right? Then we have time to let go. Something's been gnawing on your heart. I wonder what. And when the moon is in Scorpio, visiting that scorpionic energy, and later on when the moon is on top of Pluto in a couple of days, guess what? That shit's going to come up. That shit's going to come up. If you're not going to know it, you're going to feel it. You know, maybe not be able to comprehend it, but you're going to be connected to it somehow. And it'll say, the card is saying it's going to come out in a feeling. And you're going to know that I got to let shit go. There's going to be some shit that I got to let go of. But it's going to be in a feeling. You won't necessarily be able to touch it with your mind, but you're going to have to trust it with your gut. That there is definitely something that it ain't right. Why am I holding on to it? Why? That's the stubbornness, I think, of all cardinal signs. But, you know, especially, it's just, I've got to make this work. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. The universe never said that. You are assigned a purpose in life. First, some of us are very lucky. We're blessed. From a young age, we know that purpose. Others, you gotta explore. You gotta travel. You gotta let yourself get out there. Get out of your hometown to know what is my purpose. Maybe my purpose is just to learn. But that's really the only thing that God has assigned you. This is like all those assignments that are just weighing you down and gnawing at you. And this could be you. Because this may be when you have to face the piper and you projected yourself as kind in ways that you were not kind just because you wanted attention for being kind. And now it's like, what the fuck have I gotten myself into? Look at all these burdens I've taken into my life because I wanted to be seen as a certain way that wasn't actually me. Maybe I'm just a hardcore bitch. And maybe I am a lot more selfish. And this is, listen, look at, know your worth. This is first house energy, Aries energy. Know your worth. And then be loyal to what you love. Love yourself. That's the truth. It's almost like coming into reckoning with your own self about how I have not balanced out how much I need others' approval and how I want to be seen versus who I really fucking am. You are motivated, you are driven, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Somehow that's playing on your heart and you're feeling bad or guilty about it, maybe because you got yourself into a situation where you're expected to continue to be kind and act kind and be the kindest person in the room. I'm just love. I am just all about love. Bullshit, Cancerian. Anybody that really even knows a Cancerian, and I do, because I'm one of you. Anybody that knows a Cancerian is you are not loving light people, okay? The moon comes out at night, bitch. And we got all levels of dark and light, and we go through them every month. So they don't even fucking tell me that y'all all about love and light, and I just want to take care of people. Because you can't take care of people if you're afraid of the dark. Because really, 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 people need help in the dark. And that's what the moon is really about. But what about your own dark places? What about just, you reflect the sun's light. That's what the moon does. It doesn't make us the sun. We don't gotta shine all the time. We're moody as fuck. But it's so hard for us to be able to be comfortable with that. Because every sign we visit, and we visit them all in 1 month, we feel like we got to adopt that. It's natural, it's reflective. But who are you? I am the reflector. I am the light in the night sky. I am this little piece of rock that basically controls the oceans. Like, that's what I am. I'm gravity. That's what I am. I'm gravity, which you can't see, but it's very, very real. And this is almost like this strength of like calling you to say, it's like, listen, if it's not you, which I'd be surprised, it's somebody in your life, they're about to drop their mask. They pretended to be all kinds of fucking kind. This may not be, maybe I spoke too quickly because it may not be full on narcissist. It could just be insecure motherfucker that promised way more than they could ever deliver. I'm not a psychologist. I shouldn't be using those psychology words. I don't know if somebody's narcissistic. It could have just been insecurity. But this is when the mask drops off because people find themselves running on empty and they're worn out and they just can't do it anymore. And then bam, you're going to immediately think, how are you so selfish? Why are you so selfish? You may be talking to yourself. Why are you so selfish? How could you even think of these things? Because I need food and fuel too. Insecure people often do overpromise because they think that that's the only way that they could deserve love is by giving themselves away. But that's about to be dropped for self-preservation. Also because something in your life might have actually inspired you. You may have gotten in touch with something that you really want, or maybe they did. Whoever this is, could be about you, probably, but could also be about somebody that you're dealing with. And all of a sudden, the first thing you're going to go to is, they lied to me. Bullshit. They were trying too hard. Somebody was trying too hard to be kind and gentle because they thought that's what people needed. Well, somebody's truth is about to come out. Mask is about to fall off. Somebody's truth is about to come out because now finally they're being loyal to themselves and to who they really are. And they're so sick of this shit. They just want to drop the shit. It's too much. They want to drop the shit. And you should. But depending on how intimate your connection is to the shit, you might want to drop it gently. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to be unkind. Do you know what I'm saying? Or that somebody should be unkind to you. But at least now you'll kind of understand what's going on as to all of a sudden why there could be a huge personality change that you see happening in front of you or inside of you. And it's because, bottom line, this person, you or them, they've completely drained themselves. And for self-preservation, they had to let go and get back on being loyal to themselves again. And now you're going to get to know who they really are. Or people are going to get to know who you really are. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. And if you find things about yourself in this process that you don't like, guess what? You have to work on it. You don't have to work on changing them. You have to work on accepting them. Because how dare you not accept aspects of yourself? How dare you? You were given all of you to love, not bits and pieces. Stop chopping yourself up like some psychopathic serial killer. Okay? You're meant to be whole. You're meant to be whole. Now, listen, if there's parts of you that are absolutely horrible, it's about accepting them. It's not about necessarily putting them out there first or even hiding them, especially not hiding them from yourself. Because if you hide them from yourself, you're chopping them off, basically. But ultimately, this is about being able to embrace all that you are and drive from that perspective instead of this half-assed, half-meal, chop me up into little bits and pieces bullshit. Smell something. Now, in summary, because we're about to go into the extended in a couple of minutes, but could this be about somebody else? Yeah, you're about to get to see who they really are. Don't force yourself to love them or even want to accept them in your life if who they really are isn't who is really compatible to you. That's another thing that Cancerians will try to do, is once they start seeing the reality or the truth of somebody, it starts to come out. It's easy to fall in love with somebody in the moonlight. How many of y'all gone home from the club because somebody looked good in the club and the next morning they didn't look anything like that? This is almost like the sun's about to shine on some dark places. You're about to see what somebody really looks like. It doesn't mean they're not beautiful in their own capacity, but it does mean that they weren't what you expected, because there's somebody here who was so wrapped up in giving the best image, the most tailored image, the kindest image, that they forgot to give their real image. Emotions are running high. I bet. Have faith in your dreams. So this once again speaks to you. Who are you really? It's just beginning. It's just beginning. Don't give up on your dreams or let anybody get in the way of it. And take time to breathe out, which means that don't push yourself. Don't rush yourself. Don't. Give yourself time. We're in Virgo season. You're allowed to work smart, not hard. And step by step, day by day, take a fucking break. Step by step, day by day, do a little at a time. That's how you're going to achieve the most during Virgo season. Cancerian, I know I'm talking to Cancerians, but that's how you are going to go one step at a time. You're going to do one thing at a time. Give yourself a second. You're also working very, very hard. Clearly, you are working very hard on something. Please continue to believe in it. It may not move fast, but it is moving. Remember, we are approaching 2 inner planets going into retrograde. Those are Mercury, depending on where you are in the globe. It's the 10th or the 9th. So, depending on where you are on the globe. Oh, I just noticed this. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Oh my God. So we're already feeling that shadow period now. Okay? And then Mars, everybody's been talking about this. Mars will go retrograde in beginning of October, and it will stay retrograde through to January, which I honestly feel is just the best energy for holiday season. It's so wonderful for holiday season. Let yourself kick the fuck back. Because if you try to push during Mars retrograde, you break shit. And I mean physical shit, because Mars is very physical energy. So now is the time to go over your thoughts and not take it personally, or like, oh, I'm not meant to survive, or I'm not meant to, no, I'm not meant to succeed. You are meant to succeed. This is just the natural flow of things, which is why I'm talking to you about it. So that you know there are 2 inner planet which affects our day-to-day life and our personal selves. There are 2 major retrogrades coming up. You know, the larger planets are more like global, you know, and they'll eventually it'll whittle down to you through the inner planets. But these are inner planets, and that's when we really feel shit. You know, so it's like you're not failing, you are succeeding. Things move slower in retrogrades. There's nothing that you got to change or do except maybe your pace. And during this Mercury retrograde season, that's coming up. It's just a couple of weeks. You know, you're gonna be fine. but like this Mercury retrograde, if you start, things might come up that you haven't addressed, like little bits and pieces, paper trail, all that shit. Like hearing from people that you haven't heard from in a while. Depending on where your Mercury is, it could be the delivery of some bills that you haven't paid. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you don't expect, but just accept that this stuff could happen, you'll be like, okay, I know why this is happening. And retrogrades are actually kind of like they're sewn into the fabric of our existence so that we can take care of things that are important. If it's not going to be brought to your attention if it's not important. So what the last thing I want for you to do is think, hey, maybe I shouldn't dream the dreams I've dreamed because everything has slowed down. Let it slow down. Be like hands in the air. Hands in the air. Hands off the wheel. Let it slow the fuck down. Emotions are running high. Yes, because we're getting a hard lesson of like the sunshine shining in the moonlight eyes. You know, it's like, what I just want. The biggest challenge for us this week is to get out of our fucking fairy tale dream world. Because if we believe that more than what's really happening, then we will never be able to actually make our dreams real. The point of dreaming a dream is not to continue to dream the dream. It's to figure out how to manifest it into reality. Let's get some action going here. And let's go to the extended because there's so much to dig into. I will see you guys there.